Hi viewers, welcome back to our channel Make Math Easy. So in the last class already we completed the chapter quadratic equations, and in that chapter we completely learned how you have to form the equations, how you have to understand the question, and for the case of time and work based questions, why you have to take everything with respect to one day. So these are the important points and conclusions that we had drawn from our previous topic quadratic equations. Now in this class we are going to learn about the new chapter, that is linear equation in two variables. So the point that I want to tell you here is, whether it is polynomials, quadratic equations or even linear equation in two variable, all the topics are almost same only. You cannot find out any difference among these questions when it comes to examination. Like in a sense, when it comes to the solving part, you cannot say the any difference, because the terminology is almost same. If you just observe, for example, if I give you any particular quadratic equation like this, x square minus 3x plus 2 is equal to 0. If I solve this one, I will be getting roots as in x minus 1, x minus 2 is equal to 0, and I will say x is equal to 1 comma 2. So as this is a quadratic equation, you are getting two zeros here, and these two we are naming as a zeros or roots or solution. All these words are almost same only, right? So you can use the same sort of terminology even for the linear equation also, but just to get to see the differentiation between the two topics, we usually prefer specific terminology so called as the solutions for the case of the linear equation in two variable. But the meaning of all these words are representing the same. When you can say a particular number is a solution or zero or root of an equation or an expression is once if it satisfies the given equation, right? In the similar way, in case of the linear equation in two variable, we usually use the representation solutions, right? Now let us come to the concept now, linear equation in two variable. In this class, we are going to see the introduction for this chapter, and then we will see how to identify a particular equations will have a solution or not, and how we have to frame that, or how we have to represent them graphically. These are the few things we will see now. Now you can observe here, it's a linear equation. Linear representing degree is equal to 1, that means highest power is equal to 1, and it's an equation indicating that you have to equate this to some particular constant or generally 0. Anything it can be spent. In two variables in the sense you should have a two unknowns, that is nothing but x and y. These are the two variables we are having. So the standard form of the linear equation is represented by ax plus by plus c is equal to 0. Some books may give you that ax plus by is equal to c. Anything is fine, whatever it may be, that doesn't make any difference. But usually we will prefer this type of equation, because all the terms will be on the one side and the 0 will be on the other side. So this basic point already we discussed in our previous class, previous videos. That is nothing but a and b are called as the coefficients here, and whereas c is called as a constant, and x and y are nothing but variables. These things already we learned in our very basic classes. So here as you are having two variables here and highest degree is 1, highest power is 1, that's why we are naming these equations as a linear equation in two variables. So that means when we are having the linear equation, that means degree is equal to 1, representing you will be having only one solution, right? That is what it is meaning is, right? But let us see whether this is valid or not in case of the linear equation in two variable. And another important point here, we usually will say that depends on, there is some misconception here. Students used to decide the number of solutions based on the number of variables in the question. So please don't think in that way. The number of solutions is always given by the degree of a particular equation, and number of variables in that equation doesn't make any sense at all. The variables in the given equation that won't give you any information regarding how many solutions it will have. So the only thing that you have to notice is how many variables you are having and what is the degree of that particular equation. Accordingly, you have to talk about the number of solutions it will have. The number of variables in the given equation that won't help you in deciding the number of solutions. Instead, the number of variables here, it will give you information about the graphical representation of a given linear equation. So how you have to do that graphical representation? Only for that sake variables will help you to give that information. For example, if I give you something like x minus 3 is equal to 0, and if I ask you to represent this in the form of a graph, what you will do, you will go for the number line representation and you will mark here 3, right? Now on what basis you are going for the number line? Why you didn't go for the two-dimensional graph? Simple thing, here the number of variable is 1, that's why you are concentrating on the number line rather than the graphical sheet. For example, here if you see you are having two variables, so whenever you are having the two variables, you cannot represent that on a number line, because this number line is restricted with the only one variable representation. Whereas whenever you are having the two variables, obviously you have to go for the two-dimensional representation of the graph, which will help you to represent in the x-axis and y-axis. So variables in any particular equation will help you to give the information about where you have to represent the given line. Is it on the graph sheet or is it on the number line? Number of variables in a particular equation won't give you any information about how many solutions it will have. Okay. Now we are having a point here, linear equation means having the degree is equal to 1, and we are saying that it will have only one solution. Now if I have x plus y is equal to 5, and let us see what are all the solutions possible for this. I can write x as a 1 and y as a 4, x1 y4. So the one solution is 1 comma 4, x2 y3, and I am getting another solution as a 2 comma 3. Similarly, even I can swap the positions, x3 y2, solution is 3 2. Like this I am getting infinite number of solutions, right? So the question comes here is the degree is 1 here, but still why we are having the infinite number of solutions? Simple logic here. Whenever we are defining a degree, you remember that we are defining the degree for a polynomial. Generally polynomials are of single variable, and for that the degree whatever you are defining is a valid statement. Whereas when you see here, it is of a two variables. So that means I can take the different combination of x and y in any way, which will lead me to give the infinite number of solutions like this, though the degree is 1 here. So that means degree definition is valid for the equations of the polynomials whose variables, the number of variables in the equation is 1. Whereas when it comes to this one, you are having infinite number of solutions, because you are having you can make the combinations in such a way that combinations will satisfy the equation, because of which you are getting infinite number of solutions, right? So this is another important thing that you have to notice. So we already discussed just now that any linear equation is of the form ax plus by plus c is equal to 0. This is the standard equation of a linear. Now if I have a two set of equations, a1x plus b1y plus c1, a2x plus b2y plus c2 is equal to 0, this is called as a system of equations. System of equations means more than one equation if you are having, these are called as a pair of linear equation. Why we are calling pair of linear equation? Because you are seeing these two equations together. That's why we are naming this as a pair of linear equation. So if you have more than two set of linear equations together, whether it is a 2 variable, 3 variable, whatever it may be, that is called as a system of linear equations. When you are having more than two linear equations together, then it is called as a system of linear equations, right? So as we already discussed before, only terminology will change according to the concept, but all these terminologies are representing the same thing only. When it comes to quadratic equation, I will say roots. When it comes to polynomials, I will say zeros. When it comes to linear equations, I will use the word coefficients, but solutions. So though you are having the three different words, but all these three are representing the same meaning only. So if we just observe, when I am taking these two set of equations together, I have to bring in a common solution for these two. Now the question comes here is, for example, if I have a statement something like x plus y is equal to 6 and x minus y is equal to 2. If I ask you to solve these two equations, the immediate question that comes here is, why we cannot have an infinite number of solutions. See, whenever you are taking the individual equations, for sure you will be having the infinite number of solutions, because for the simple reason that you are having the two variables and you can make the multiple combinations to satisfy the given equation. But whenever you are taking these two equations together, you have to look for the common solution. Why you have to look for the common solution? Because whatever x you are going to substitute, the same x you have to substitute in the second equation also. Similarly for the case of y also. So that means whatever is satisfying the first equation, that also has to satisfy the second equation. Then only we can say that common solution will exist for these two, right? So whenever if I just solve these two equations, I can take x is equal to 4 and y is equal to 2, which will satisfy both the equations. So 4 plus 2 is 6, 4 minus 2 is equal to 2. Now the question comes here is it the only solution possible for us, or is there any another solution, right? See, observe here, this is a very simple equation, so because of which you can just go ahead with the direct trial and error method, and because of which you got x is equal to 4, y is equal to 2. Let us take a case, I am giving some 2-digit or 3-digit numbers as a constants. In that case, it is not possible for us to identify whether it will have only one solution like this or it will have a multiple solutions like this, right? So that means this pair of linear equations sometimes may have a solution, sometimes may not have a solution also. So it is basically characterized into two ways. One is consistent and another is inconsistent, right? Consistent in the sense having solution. Inconsistent means no solution for these two, right? Now again another question comes here is, having a solution means, is it one solution that we are having or we are having many solutions, right? Both are opposite statements. We may have a one solutions or we may have infinite solutions. So having the consistent system of equations or consistent pair of linear equations, the solutions you are having, is it a solution only one or many solutions? That is the question. And no solution, you won't have any cases here. So they developed a simple method of identifying whether a particular equation, set of equations, results in one solution or infinitely many or no solution, based on the coefficients of x, y and the as well as constants. Because for these equations, x and y are variables and the coefficients and constants play an important role in everything. So that's why they, over a series of examples that they had taken and solving, they tried to came to one conclusion that based on this coefficients and the constants ratio, we can come to one conclusion about whether you are having one solution, many solution or no solution at all, right? So if you have a case of the ratio a1 by a2 is not equal to b1 by b2, then they are called as an intersecting lines. Intersecting lines, and which results in only one solution, right? So if it is satisfying a case like this, A1 by A2 is equal to B1 by B2 but not equal to C1 by C2. In this case, these are called as an parallel lines and no solution at all. Okay. And the last condition, A1 by A2 is equal to B1 by B2 is equal to C1 by C2. This is called as an coincidental lines. So if you just observe, all the ratios are same. That means almost both the lines are same here. When this is coincidental lines, you will be having many solutions for this case. So these are the three cases they defined here. Intersecting lines, parallel lines and the coincidental lines. Intersecting line is having only one solution. Parallel lines will have no solution, whereas the coincidental lines will have a many solution here. Now the question comes here is, this is a line, these are the linear equations that they had given to us, but on what basis we are saying that these are the lines here? It's a very simple thing. If you just observe here, in these equations you are having the variables as an x and y. Even the graphical representation will have a x-axis and y-axis. So that means every linear equation can be represented in the form of a line here. So that's why it is possible for you to represent on the graph like this. That's why we are naming them as an intersecting lines, parallel lines and the coincidental lines. So as of now we will just end up here, and in the next class we will see how you are going to represent the lines on the graph sheet and how it is possible to identify these type of solutions. Okay, hope you enjoy this video. If you like this video, try to subscribe to our channel. Thank you.